On December 21st, 2513, we successfully performed the world tuning. When we got back to the mansion, Alto said that she was tired and wanted to go rest. Please tell me she did not die. We didn't think anything of it at first. It wouldn't be that unusual to want to take a nap after expending all that energy. But Alto just kept sleeping and didn't wake up. Uh-oh. December 22nd. Oh, okay. I'm not controlling it. But they're all worried too. So no partying to be had. Oh, it's you, Aubrey. You frightened me for a moment. I thought you'd already gone to sleep with the others. I'm sorry. I just feel restless and uneasy. I was having a difficult time sleeping, so I gave up and the lights were on. It's going to be all right, you know. Alto is healthy and strong. Now that she's finally had a chance to relax, all the fatigue from her journey has caught up with her. For the time being, it would just be best to let her sleep undisturbed. Or we could go talk to Luminoso, that might be a thing we could do. I know that it's meaningless to worry. I know that this isn't like with me, but I'll make tea so you can wait in the dining room if you'd like. If it's not a bother, I'd rather stay and watch. I feel calmer with you around. My, of course you're not a bother. You're welcome to stay. I never thought that I would get to be on the side that worries over someone sleeping. I do think that it probably serves me right, but that doesn't make it any easier to accept. I see. Whenever I get stuck thinking only negative things like this, I get even more insecure without Alto. Being with her makes me happy, and it lets me avoid all the bad feelings. But I'm only thinking of myself, aren't I? I've only just realized today that I've hardly ever seen Alto resting. Whenever she's awake, even on the days when we've just stayed in town, she's always been busy keeping one of us company or doing errands. Why didn't I realize earlier that had to be hard on her? I'm so frustrated with how selfish I've been. Isn't that a good place to start, though? What do you mean? It's just a feeling I get based on what Alto herself has told us, but she made it sound like when she lived with her family, almost all of her time was spent studying or training. It could very well be that she just isn't used to having free time to relax with. Oh. However, never having any time to rest will eventually cost you in the end. Every person's limits are different, of course. So I wouldn't be presumptuous as to try to hold Alto to my own schedule, but all the same, if it's something that she isn't used to considering, you may be able to remind her. And if she's not sure what to do, you can help her think of things. She has to make her own decisions in the end, but you can at least give her new options. You're good at thinking things like this, Saki. Well, I am the adult here, and I've never been quite as robust as Alto, so it's something I've had to keep in mind in terms of my own routines. Anyway, it's only an idea. No, I'm really grateful. I'm even kind of jealous that you're able to understand her so well. I think it's just that we have similar dispositions. Sometimes not being able to understand is a good thing. Really? For instance, don't you have some feelings that you would rather keep to yourself for whatever reason? Sorry. Oh. And also, there are many painful things in life that people can only truly understand once they've experienced those things for themselves. Even if you're jealous that the other person has been spared from your pain, you still feel grateful that they don't have to understand, right? That's true. I hadn't thought of that. Saki. Does that mean that Alto has understood things about you that you didn't want her to? My, what do you think? That's a non-answer. You can't distract me by saying things like that. Well, it's a secret. It's late. Oughtn't you try to get to sleep again? I still don't think I'll be able to. There wouldn't be much point. I see. If it's not too much trouble. Oh? Last time you taught me to make tea, so will you teach me how to use the coffee things? It may not be much, but I want to be able to do more things for Alto, even if they're small. Coffee's very important, guys. We use coffee to beat the boss, distortion boss, yeah. Because what it did is it gave you a blessing, an immunity to, status ailments, and it gave you 100 TP, which is what you use for the, I still don't know what they mean, but the special moves. I don't mind, but if we make too many things with caffeine in them, we really won't be able to sleep, you know? That is true. So, it doesn't sound like Aubrey plans on going to sleep anyway. December 22nd, 5:03 a.m. Oh, everybody's still awake. Or they just get up early. You sure are up early. Well, sorry for being an insomniac. Are you worried about Alto? Yeah. Are you? If you mean, is that why I'm awake this early? I'm used to getting up early in the morning to exercise. But yeah, I'm worried. Honestly, it's more like I'm frustrated. At least she didn't fall on her face like she did in Anacrusis, but I was afraid this was going to happen again. She wasn't really raised to learn respect for her own limits, so she overdoes it sometimes. She showed us what her hands are like, so I can imagine. Has she always been like this? I want to say that she was worse, especially back when we first met. But I don't know if my interpretation should be that trustworthy. You've grown up a lot. And the fact that I'm in the position to be told that by you, of all people, really pisses me off. I know I've got nobody to blame but myself, though. I guess the real reason I'm up and ready to exercise is worrying about Alto has put me in a bad mood, but I don't have the right to take that out on her, let alone you guys. So I want to work it off. But come to think of it, she's the one I always did morning exercises with anyway. It feels weird and off balance when she's not here. What? I don't want to just sit around and wait either. If you're going to go exercise, would you mind if I tag along? No, I don't care. Actually, it'd be kinda nice. I'm glad. Alright, let's get going. Hey Teagan. Sorry, I'm starting to cry. Great, why? Why, Sin? Stop it. What? Spit it out. I don't really know anything in detail, but Alto said you weren't getting along with your family recently? I guess. But it's more like, how should I put it? It's not really that we're not getting along. It's more that I'm totally in the wrong as far as that goes. Now that the world tuning's over, that's the next big thing I have to worry about. Going home at some point and sorting my shit out, I mean. I see. Well, do you have any ideas about how to do it? I don't think there's really anything I can do aside from suck it up and apologize to Tristan personally. I'm turning 20 next month. I'm not really the age where I can try to get my parents to solve things for me anymore, you know? And I don't want to drag the younger kids into this any more than I have already. You really are grown up. Thanks, I think. Still, this is a weird time for that to come up. Is something wrong? It's like you said. now that the world tuning's over, we have to start thinking about what comes next. So, I'm thinking about trying to contact my family. Come to think of it, I heard you ran away from home a while ago, didn't you? Yeah. Honestly, I'm scared to talk to my family again after all these years. Even if I just wrote to them, I wouldn't know what to say. Everything that's happened here has made me realize that I should at least let them know I'm alive and okay. But I don't think that'd be enough to make me actually contact them. I'm a coward after all. I need their help for something important, so I don't have a choice. Something important? Yeah, something bigger than just me, so I've got to at least try. Is Mayrin going to try and fund the cure for Saki? Because that would be really cool. And also, yeah, a reason to contact parents, because they are affluent. But I just don't know how to start. Well, I don't know that much about your family situation, so I can't really give advice. But all you can really do is try your best, I guess. I guess so. And both of us still have got time to figure out what to do. It sounds like your situation, at least, isn't just your own fault like it is for me. So you can ask the others for help, too. Yeah. And, I don't know. Thanks for hearing me out. I feel better. No problem. Anyway, let's stretch and warm up. First thing on the menu, 6 laps around the city. 6 laps? And then muscle training, and after that, practice fights. That's pretty hardcore. You're welcome to sit out if it's too hot for you to handle. No, it sounds like fun. Bring it on. "10:30 a.m. Oh, Teagan, welcome back. Yo. Okay. I'm impressed that you're going straight from physical exercise to music practice. Wasn't Mayrin with you, though? Yeah, well, she stuck it out pretty well, given that she's basically a twig. But she hit her limits and went to go rest. And I'm flattered that you're impressed, but it's just routine for me. You certainly are diligent. And what about you? I just kind of assumed you'd want to be upstairs, but here you are in the practice room. Well, if I were waiting at Alto's bedside, I think I would just wind up panicking. That wouldn't do her or anyone any good. So I'm trying to trust in Saki's judgment that she's just sleeping off her exhaustion. But if I don't keep myself distracted, it feels like I'm just running away from the problem, so... I think we're probably all doing that, in our own way. God damn it, stop, Sin. Why are you just randomly trying to cry at weird points? It's not like, well, I mean, it is sad, but also not anything in particular is more sad than... I'm just poking myself now. It's not helping. Anyway, I thought that there would be more. A sense of accomplishment after we completed the world tuning. In the end, it's like Arietta said, this whole ritual was never really meant to be a solution. I think we've been forced to come to terms with that a lot. No, I mean, it is that also, but in the end, it's Alto who's always held us together and pulled us along. So it doesn't feel right for her to not be at the center of things at a time like this. I still feel weird admitting it, but you're right. I'm frustrated with myself. About what? Because I've had to realize a lot of things about myself and how I've treated the people around me. I still feel like I'm only thinking of myself. I can say that I love Alto over and over like a spell. But sometimes I still think that I'm only distracting myself from my own selfishness. There's so much that she's done for me. I don't know if I'm doing enough back. They do say that romance takes hard work, I guess. Not that I know myself. Is that how it is? don't look at me. I'm ace and probably aero. But I sort of get where you're coming from. So much of what I thought I was doing for Alto's sake. Once I thought harder about it, I realized I was doing it for myself, or wasn't thinking about what she actually wanted. Yes. Trying to change your own behavior is hard. But I guess it's better than the alternative, right? Yes, you're right. Anyway, just dwelling on that right now isn't going to make waiting for her to wake up already easier. Since we're both sitting here anyway, you want to do a jam session or something? If you're alright with just me. 3:00 p.m. Damn that Teagan. I'm gonna show her up for sure. You're certainly enthusiastic. Well, I mean, it would have made me mad if she'd mocked me for not being able to keep up. But for some reason, it makes me even madder that she came over all sympathetic about it. And so you retreat to cooking instead, because Teagan can't hope to beat you there. You're making it sound so petty. It is. Just so you know, this isn't only to make Teagan surrender. This is news to me. Well, for your information, we haven't gotten to properly celebrate our overwhelming success yet. Shouldn't you wait until Alto wakes up? Alto's been asleep for almost 24 hours, right? So she'll probably be up soon. Okay. Once she is, then we can have a real banquet. I thought for some reason that she'd been asleep for like a week and a half. So if I really want to go all out, I have to get started early in the day, even if I've got you helping. She'll probably be up soon. I hope you're right. No, well, it's Alto. Saki says it'll be fine, and it's not like he's talking about himself, so I trust him. That's pretty interesting logic. Well, you know how Saki is. Sometimes he tries to pretend like he's okay, even when he's not, to save face. But he's only like that about himself, so... What? Never mind. If you didn't know, you don't have to worry about it. If there was something seriously wrong with Alto, he wouldn't gloss over that to save our feelings. So as long as he says it's fine, I think we can trust him. He was trying to cheer me up last night too, like you are now. When you say it like that, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm sorry. You liar. Well, you weren't doing a very good job of concealing it either. And, I'm no good at cooking, so what other reason would you have had for asking me along? Well, maybe it's just because I wanted company, see? Saki's checking on Alto, and I'm still mad at Teagan, so if I wanted to avoid being lonely, you were my best choice, and only choice. Because even though I love cooking, it still feels like drudgery sometimes if I'm alone. I see. That's an eloquent excuse. I like it. Stop picking on me! Seriously! I don't mean to pick on you. I'm admiring you. I want to become kind like you. I want to become wise like Saki, and I want to be able to face the wrongs I've done like Teagan. So if I'm bitter with anyone, it's at myself, for not being able to support Alto properly. Don't you think that's kind of a weird way to look at it? Huh? Your relationship with Alto is not really like me and Saki. And the relationship you used to have with your sister Chantal, that's different from how things were with Alto and Teagan. What I'm trying to say is, the one Alto likes is you, so if you want to be kinder or wiser or whatever, you don't have to be frustrated for not being like us. You can figure things out your own way. Oh. That is right. I really need to stop clinging to other people for the answer. I'm afraid of doing the wrong thing, but even so. Yeah, that's a good goal. Because even if it doesn't look like it to you, we're all still struggling for answers too. None of us have really got the answers you would want. It's all different for everybody. I see. That is good advice. I'll try to keep it in mind. If I was able to help at all, I'm glad. Hey, Aubrey, weren't you peeling? Ah, I got distracted. Well, let's get back to work. There's a ton more to get to where this came from. This is why I hate cooking. Aw, poor thing. It's 3:15 p.m. How's she doing? Oh, Teagan. It's alright. She had a low fever yesterday, but that's back to normal. She'll be up as soon as she's rested. That's so. Seems like even the townspeople are starting to get concerned. The Prime Minister mentioned that there's some kind of ceremony thing that's supposed to be held now that the world tuning was successful. But we can't hold it without Alto. I see. It's like... Oh. Everyone's been weird and restless since yesterday. Aubrey said before that it's probably that we're used to Alto acting as kind of a centralizing force for us. But I don't think that's all. We are still unsatisfied, is that what you mean? Yeah, I think that's the best way of putting it. Objectively, I do realize that we've saved the world from imminent disaster. We turned a near failure around and firmly created our own victory. That's something we ought to be proud of. But I can also see how little we've actually managed to accomplish in the face of our real problems. You can take it even further and say that a cynical view like that is only possible because our ensemble has accomplished more than most of our predecessors, and therefore has a greater understanding of the history and circumstances that brought us here in the first place. Yep, and that's also true for the personal progress we've made. I know I still have a long way to go to actually get my act back together. Aubrey's learned the value of standing on their own feet, maybe, but they're still figuring out how to do that. Even that Mayrin is talking about trying to get back in contact with her family. Can you believe that? My, I believe that she was considering it, but she hasn't said as much to me yet. Whoops. Anyway, it feels like even after all this, we've only just got to the starting line. It's hard to be satisfied with the progress we've made when there's still so much further to go. So everything feels half-baked and incomplete. That's only natural. Because as long as human beings are alive, our lives are incomplete. It was written in one of my favorite philosophical novels, and I very much agree. The object of our life's journey is to become satisfied and thus obtain a comfortable death. Wow. On the one hand, that's probably a wise way to put it, but you're always so goddamn morbid. Am I really? You're not vicious like Alto, or a bully like me, or even a codependent wreck like Aubrey, but sometimes I get the feeling that deep down you're a pretty twisted guy. Yeah, well, considering that face. My, that's quite the assessment. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that of course we feel restless when we understand the position that we're in. We have just completed our great task, and we will still have several months before we can embark on any further action. So all we can do is try to prepare ourselves mentally for whatever we decide to do next. Anyone would become anxious. Is that how it is? And, of course, Alto is not here. It's not only that she's the force that holds us together. We need her for the same reason she's wound up in the state now. That girl has such a drive for action that she never stops moving, and the strength of will to back that up. She's always provided momentum for all of us. Even when it only feels like we're just getting towed along for her ridiculous whims, huh? Oh, especially then. She may not be very articulate, but all of us have the faith in her to give her the benefit of the doubt, even if we don't understand. Even you now, Teagan. And Alta was the one who was given the task of finding a way to break the Cantabile cycle. She is the only one with the right to decide our course of action there. Yeah. Well, on that principle, as soon as she wakes up, we'll be back in action, won't we? So it's probably best to take a philosophical standpoint and be grateful that we have enough free time to worry. That's so probable it's disgusting. Don't you think so? Anyway, I intend to take that remaining time to rest and to think. You are free to do the same if you wish. I guess I am. Well, don't let me hold you up. Yes, excuse me.